Hello and welcome to another episode of FinTech Focus TV. I'm delighted to be joined today by Hugo Remi, the CEO of Cardaq. Hugo, welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting me for this conversation. For me, it's an honor to talk about topics which might be interesting to the industry.
Very good. Well, look, good place to start as a tradition. Give us please an introduction to yourself and also to Cardaq.
Yeah, of course. I'm Chief Executive Officer of Cardaq Limited since 2019. I'm managing this company. Hopefully, I will manage it for next 7-8 years or even more.
Yeah.
We are principal members of card issuing and the card acquiring with Visa, MasterCard, and China UnionPay. This is pretty unique because UnionPay is not so developed in the United Kingdom, and we are the ones who try to build this bridge between Asian region and United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And also, I am a CEO of PridePay, which is our trading name, and another one for consumer market. So that's our business. That's what we do.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. And look, given where you sit in the industry, I mean, it would be really interesting to hear what you see. Like, look, we're here at Pay360 today. There are some unbelievable organisations here doing some great things. What you see, trends in the industry and sort of habits like that. It'd be great to get your insight.
First of all, right now I can see a lot of smaller companies which were previously working like without regulations is applying for regulations, and it's a trend which, of course, it brings additional competitors to us. But from another perspective, it's very good because I see the market is becoming more professional. It's my feeling, and also regulations become more tough, more regulated, which is a good and bad thing. If you look from one angle, it's good because the customers get more protected. From another one, sometimes when the regulator is overprotective, it actually can destroy many businesses because, all of us are humans and everyone can make a mistake.
Yeah.
And the regulators also can do it. So that's why it always should be a balance between regulations and business development. But in general, I feel really positive about the things which are happening. Even if they're bringing some difficulties to us, it's also additional opportunities and a better future.
It's an interesting one and something we talk about a lot because, of course, like regulation is essential for the protection of the consumer. But is it sometimes at the cost of innovation? I mean, like, how do you see that balance?
Yesterday for me it was something I learned something new for myself as well because I didn't know, honestly. It's a shame on me. I was in this panel discussion.
Okay.
And I have never heard about that Apple actually opened its NFC chip.
Okay.
So now you, let's say, potentially in the future, if regulators will put some pressure on Apple, we as an e-wallet will be able to offer, our wallet as opportunity for the customers instead of Apple Pay. And it's very good. Of course, that's a very good example where regulations can bring innovations.
Yes.
But with other topics, usually it's very opposite because regulations destroy innovations. Because the more regulation you have, the less you can do. But even with the fact that you can do a lot of great things and you wish to do great things, sometimes regulations block it. Yeah.
And I guess in some instances, rightly so. I mean, because it's at the end of the day, the consumer has to be protected, which is what the regulators are there for.
Definitely.
Fascinating. So, what was the panel that you were on yesterday?
It was a panel discussion together with Barclaycard, Lloyds Bank, Curve, the CEO of Curve, and founder, and we discussed exactly the evolution of e-wallets. Evolution of e-wallets, development of e-wallets. Half of the conversation was around Apple, and also there were discussions about regulations. Because Curve, I like this company, I like the idea. I respect the founder, of course. He did a great job. But it's also an example that you always should. You can never stop, and you always need to develop your technology. So, if, for example, in the beginning, years ago, we had a really great idea which was working, it doesn't mean that it will work in the future. So you need to adopt. And nowadays, even we are thinking to go away from physical cards because I had a lot of ideas. I was dreaming about many products related to payment cards and physical ones.
Yes.
I clearly understand right now it's a waste of money. I even stopped some projects because, I don't have any wallet with me.
Okay.
I have only a phone.
Yeah.
I don't need it,
Yeah.
And how many people around this? a huge amount of people who don't have payment cards.
Yeah.
I have it at home and safe, my wallet with my payment cards. Just when I go travel, if I need ATM or something,
Yeah.
And even nowadays, the new ATMs even have NFC chip, so you even don't need to insert your card.
Yeah.
So that's an example how the world is changing, how technologies are changing. And yesterday I was speaking about the regulations, and I was actually supporting regulator in this case because there's a huge gap and difference between EMIs and banks. Banks are, I would say, pretty well regulated, especially in the United Kingdom. I would say excellent world. Maybe even too regulated sometimes, but it's good for the customer.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, for the customer. Yeah.
In terms of EMIs, no. I would say a very small share capital, initial share capital is that they need to place, real customer protection. Because you may draft any policy procedures you wish, but it's just the papers. I'm speaking about guarantees, security deposits. Like for example, we as a principal members of car schemes, we are obliged, not with the regulators, but Visa Mastercard is our regulator as well, and Union Pay.
Yep.
They ask us to put the collaterals with each car scheme, and they regulate it, and always increase with our business growth. So, in other words, at least customers got some sort of additional protection, which is covered with real money. And that's the kind of protection which I'm saying,
Yeah.
Because, for example, EMIs can manage huge amount of funds, but their reserves could be so small that in case of some mistake or emergency, they'll be not able to recover customer money.
And why do you think that is? Is because that world has evolved a little more quickly than the regulators can keep up with? Is that as simple as that?
Simple as that. Because it historically was like that. In Europe, actually, it's still the same legislation, but regulators are unofficially asking to place double collateral in the beginning. So, by collateral I mean share capital, not like initial one, 350k or 300 pounds. It's like almost double or triple. But it's also sometimes bad because some young startups may come and have a great idea, and unfortunately for them could be this, I'll say, a big issue, like for us, because when we want to other countries like Singapore or Hong Kong, or for me it's also painful when I need to place collateral, which is, I would say, number with 7 digits. So it's painful.
Numbers,
yes, and you need one jurisdiction, second, third. But I also start thinking from different angle. It's also very good for reputation. Maybe we should wait. We should, earn some money, save them, and then we should go there. So when we enter this market, we'll be well prepared. So it's how to look at it.
Yeah, I understand. I think the sort of broader subjects we've covered now, sort of bringing it back to Cardaq. What does the future look like? What's next?
So we are trying to expand. Yesterday, a Canadian regulator came to us and actually offered support to expand to Canada. And we have companies in Canada, financial institutions, which we just need to develop.
Yep.
So it's a very great opportunity. We also are President State since 2018. I was working with JP Morgan Chase. I tried to make one project together. I failed because I was too young, unfortunately. But for me it was great because they saw me and it was a recognition of my work. So in States, we applied for a license right now. In the state of New York, our major state, where we are historically working. So it's United States, it's Canada, it's Singapore and Hong Kong, and somewhere in Europe maybe.
Okay.
Just to expand our business.
Expanding, and again, a subject that's obviously close to our heart within that expansion, and we say this all the time, that businesses can have the greatest products in the world, but it's actually the people that are integral to driving that. Given your position with the organisation, I'd imagine you've done some recruiting and hiring in your time.
Yes.
And I can tell by the knowing look, then you've seen all sides of it. Like, it would be great to get your insight. Like, how do you attract the best talent in the industry, and then more importantly, how do you retain them?
Yeah, very good questions again. This is my second team because the first one was just before COVID.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with COVID, I was forced to say goodbye to my IT team. Unfortunately, I had a great team, and we could succeed really. But it happened. I managed to keep the core team. Last year, we have tripled the numbers.
Wow.
Yes.
In the last year?
Yes. This year, already we fired maybe 20% from what we have already right now.
Yeah.
So we're hiring a lot. And how it happens? Very easily. I do at the beginning, of course, I was making all the hires myself. Then I just hired core people. And those people brought their friends, and those friends are bringing their friends.
Okay.
And it's more what
Good people know good people.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's word of mouth. Plus, I always say it's a family business. Some of my family members are working in this company as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a lot of like families who are working together, like a wife and a husband, father and son, father and daughter, and it's really a family business. And what I see since 2019, only maybe 4 people left.
Right.
Yes, 4 or 5. I don't even precisely remember, but I would say it's pretty good because I work with my colleagues for many years.
Yeah, and you know, as CEO, you know, obviously responsible for driving that culture and what that's like. So, the retention is it that family feel? Like what is the sort of cultural drivers that you?
For me, it's like in a family. You may fight with each other. There are good times, there are bad times, you know. It's the same with your colleagues, you know, because I don't want to become sometimes you need to be corporations, you know, sometimes you don't need. I don't want to become a pure corporation, you know, without the feelings. So I try to find something in between, where there are standards, rules, requirements, KPIs, but also some personal touch, you know. When someone needs my attention or got some hard times, I would say, I come, I pay my personal attention, I try to speak, try to help.
Yeah.
I also try to I don't have time for this, I can be late for 2 months or 3 months, but I always say to my colleagues, I never forget. So when someone got a baby or something good happens, I try to send my personal gift as well, and that's what I still try to do.
Yeah, I think, and it becomes obviously increasingly difficult the larger an organisation gets, but you know, human beings like to be treated like human beings. That resonates a lot. Hugo, it's been fascinating to talk to you. As a final, just sort of sign up, how do people find out more about the business? Where should they go?
Oh, they should go to our website, of course, to our stand. We are present at the Pivot Station, all the events, you know, so please come and see us and meet us. Yes.
Hugo, thank you ever so much for your time. Thank you very much for watching.
Very much as well.